All right, now it's serious time, unfortunately, for this segment, which means I gotta bust out the iPad. I apologize. It has to be on screen, but I need to keep everything everything good. So I'm just gonna rattle off for a little bit, and then we'll discuss. But this is a serious issue that needs to be addressed. It's been basically the only video game news that's been on Twitter or on most places where there's video game outlets, and that is Activision and Blizzard, who is known for franchises such as Fallout, World of Warcraft, and Call of Duty, has received a lawsuit from California's Department of Fair Employment and Housing. After a 2-year investigation, the DFEH deemed multiple offenses in which the company, quote, discriminated against female employees in terms and conditions of employment, including compensation, assignment, promotion, termination, constructive discharge, and retaliation. The lawsuit claims that there is a frat boy culture of male workers harassing female employees in inappropriate adult manners. This includes in what is now deemed as the infamous cube crawl, in which certain male employees will come into work intoxicated and start going from cube to cube, harassing and making provocative and unwanted gestures to their female companions. One story claims that a woman committed suicide after she had to go on a business trip with a male coworker who brought adult toys and lube. And then the man went off to show off her inappropriate pictures after her death at a Christmas party. And also, there was also the Bill Cosby room, which employees took pictures cheering Bill Cosby during his court case in 2016. All of these incidents were dealt with a slap on the wrists, and the male employees never got fired for their actions, leaving a bunch of female employees to quit Blizzard in 2019. Blizzard has responded with what is, to be honest, a tone-deaf statement, which blames the DFEH for rushing their investigation for an inaccurate complaint, blaming things such as COVID for harming the company's jobs during these trying times, and the accusation of suicide was sickening. Now, first of all, that is a lot. Second of all, that is disgusting. And
the way I see it,
yeah.
And this also connects to some non-video game related news. The whole Scarlett Johansson v. Disney lawsuit that's ongoing. I don't know if it's actually even started yet, but if you have to blame COVID for anything of this sort, you've already lost the argument. That's not an excuse. I'm sorry, but that's not how it works.
Listen, guys. I slapped a woman, but you can't really blame me. COVID's happening right now.
Listen, I know. I came on to her when she told me not to, but COVID happened, so it's okay.
Guys, COVID's happening. Times are tough. Why don't you just
let me assault women?
Yeah, just let me harass and harangue women. Like, it's so... That is a pathetic response. But I think this does bring up an issue of, I guess, the media industry in general. Where, I guess, cartoons, comic books, it does have this. But in places like movies and video games, and hell, even media creation like YouTube, there's this kind of, I guess, implicit power that these people feel, in which they know when you finally get a job, you go like, wow, I'm in my dream job. Mm-hmm. I'm at Activision and Blizzard. They're just going to expect you to do nothing because you're just stuck in this dream-like mentality. Like, I don't want to ruin my chances of losing my dream job. And if what these documents say are true, which, I don't know if this is a 2-year investigation and a lot of people are claiming that it's true. Even the people who used to run the company say it's true. I really think we should come together and support this in any way we can, because this is utterly disgusting behavior, especially if it led to a suicide of one of the employees.
That, I didn't even know about that.
So you didn't know about that one?
I did not.
That was the first thing I knew.
The thing I knew most about was the Cosby suite. That was the thing I knew the most about.
Yeah, no, actually, the Cosby thing was the last thing I learned about.
Geez.
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting behavior. A lot of the subreddits for Activision games are putting a ginormous, like, hey, you can boycott this if you want, right? Here are some things, and we're going to put this on screen. If you like certain Activision games and you don't want to play them, we'll have a list of other games that are similar that you can play instead. But you know what? This is another thing that we can add. Apparently in the report, what Activision does when stuff like this happens, okay, is that they do a really big announcement to try to defer you away from looking at it, from looking at their bad issues. And you know what? It was completely accurate, because guess what they did? They announced the Crash Anniversary Bundle, where you can get Crash Trilogy, Crash Team Racing, and Crash 4 for $60 to $40 on your system in one bundle.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, they literally announced that like the moment it was getting trended on Twitter. So it's really, really pathetic. And yeah, and I did see a lot of employees who used to be employees who are trying really hard to say, I can't believe I ever worked there. And if what the report said, they all most likely knew. And they didn't do anything, which I understand. A composer is not going to have much power. But I don't know. It seems a little bit too late.
Well, the thing is that weren't a lot of the people who are getting these allegations, aren't they like the higher ups?
Yeah.
So even if anyone was brave enough to stand up and say something,
they'd get fired.
The likelihood that anything worthwhile would happen is astronomically low.
Yeah.
So I understand to a certain point why no one said anything, because nothing would happen. And the fact that this is coming out, because let's be honest, this has been happening, like you said, this has been happening in a number of industries for God knows how long. Is something going to change now? I don't know. I would hope so, but I don't know about you. Maybe I'm being overly pessimistic here, but my hopes aren't high for anything changing.
You know what? I think if this lawsuit goes through, it will send, if this is like a really damaging lawsuit, it will send a precedent. Because right now, Ubisoft is also going through something similar to this. It will send a message, okay? And who knows what that message will be. But it's either going to cause one of two things. It's one, they're going to double down on hiding this information, or two, there's going to be CEOs that don't abide by this work ethic, or, I'm sorry, work behavior. Which, I don't know about you, but at most jobs, if you show up to work drunk anyway, you get fired.
Yeah.
People get fired from smoking weed 2 days in advance before coming to their job. I don't know why. I don't know who allows a whole horde of men heavily intoxicated and not get them in trouble or fire them. But, you know, hey, I think the doomer in me says if this lawsuit goes badly, nothing's going to happen. But there is something cautiously optimistic that ever since things like Me Too, industries have been getting better. People who are being hired for these media creation, they're getting better. And I think there is a small glimmer of hope if this lawsuit does go through and they win. The victims win. But, you know, it's a gamble at this point. It's a gamble. Maybe if we see more lawsuits of this nature, maybe things will change. I know things will change, actually, if more lawsuits like this happen. But, again, to reiterate, if you don't support the actions of this company, don't buy it. In fact, you know what? If you don't like that much, we'll even find and recommend you games that aren't from Activision.
Yeah.
We don't mind.
We run a game talk show. We know what we're talking about.
I hope. But that's the way it is. If anything major happens in this lawsuit, we will keep you updated. And yeah, that's about all I have to say. It's very tragic news.
Yeah.